back to my channel. It's Christina at Homeschool and Grace, and it has been so long since I've done a homeschool update, like a normal, like, here's all our curriculum. This is what we've been doing. So you're probably wondering, is everything okay with her? What's going on? Well, I thought I would try a little bit of different content for you lately. I was trying, like, some collaboration, some more home stuff, a different format for our homeschool update, and then I was like, I think we'll just go back to the regular homeschool update format that I do. So here we are. I'm in my schoolroom. Here's my big, what is this, cork board. And as you can see, it's March now. And I think the last time I did one of these was before Christmas. So it's been a while. So today's video is going to be kind of a weekly update for weeks like 10 through almost 20. I'm going to kind of catch you up to where we're at, and then I can just start doing my regular weekly updates. That was another problem. I got so far behind, I was like, how am I going to catch up? And I was like, I just have to do a big, this is where we're at. So here you go. So if you are new here, I am a homeschooling mom to 5. I teach 6th grade, 3rd grade, 1st grade, pre-K, and a little bit of preschool. So we use all My Father's World except for like a few things here and there. But otherwise, we're pretty much a My Father's World family. We love it. It's a great curriculum. So I'm going to go through each curriculum, tell you what's working, what's not working lately, what we did, what we didn't do, update you on like what books we read, what we didn't read. So here we go. Let's dive in. Okay. Of course, I don't have it in order. Okay, so I gotta go way back in my book. Like I said, we're to week like 20 now. So we'll do a brief overview. Okay, so for Bible, we're still working through James. We haven't really got much farther than James 1 through 11. We did there was 2 paths you could do. Path A, you would memorize all of James, and path B, you would memorize James 1. So we definitely have been taking the James 1 route, and we're not very far. Like I said, we've done James 1 through 11. They're doing really good with that, but that's about as far as we've gotten. So we just kind of repeat it each day, and that's it. We have also still been using Boy, Have I Got Problems, the James study by Kay Arthur and Jana Arndt, I think that's how you say it. We struggled for 1 week on it because I don't have a copy for each of my students, my girls, and so it was like, do I just write in it? Do they write in it? Do I make copies of it? So I was making copies, but then it was like frustrating my 3rd grader trying to fill it out, and then my 6th grader obviously is like zooming through it. And then, I'm trying to keep up in the book. So finally I decided, okay, I'll just write it in the book. We'll talk about it, and they'll just verbalize it, and then I'll just write it in. And then I make copies in the back of, I like the format for the verses, for the chapters. And so they can easily see like what verse we're on when we're studying it. And then they can take turns reading it. And so we've been doing it that way, and it's working a lot better. So that's what we're doing for that. Okay, moving on through Bible still. We're still going through Then Sings My Soul. We learned, Am I a Soldier of the Cross? And Can It Be That I Should Gain? I really like that song. I found a good version. I'll try and link them below. I just would find versions on YouTube, and we would sing along with it. There was a Christmas unit for Hark the Herald. Oh, for 1,000 Tongues to Sing. And I think that was it. So we're still really liking this. They really enjoy listening. We'll listen to the song before we start school, so it kind of sets the tone, the pace of the school. Like, it's nice to start with a hymn. And so we've been doing that. We like this. We are still reading through some of Trial and Triumph and In God We Trust. I love this book. It is so good. It's about different martyrs and just people of the faith that were just super strong and were courageous and bold. And so this is a great one. This would even be fun as like an individual not fun, but a good family devotional. I know I have a friend I recommended this to, and they do it before bed. They'll read a story from someone in this. And God We Trust we're still reading through. They seem to enjoy it. Not quite as much as this, but I still feel like there's good information on the different people. Like we learned about Jonathan Edwards in both of them. Who else? Father Juniper, Patrick Henry, Paul Revere, Sam Adams. So very good information. I think that was all the Bible. Okay. Like I've shared in the past, especially if you're new here, I guess you might not know. So I start at the beginning of our teacher's manual, and I just work my way down. So I'm going to just show you how we do it. Okay. Next is spelling and handwriting. So My Father's World recommends Spelling Power. And I had all these hopes of getting through Spelling Power with my girls, and we are just not doing it. It's just not happening. I even went back and started watching all the quick starts and making notes and trying, and it was just giving me anxiety. We just can't get it done. So I just have scrapped spelling. We're just doing other stuff. So my third grader and my first grader, I have tutored twice a month from a friend from our church. And so she has recommended my third grader just writing sentences, about her day, and then helping build that as kind of helping with spelling. The sentences, taking those words that she uses to help with spelling. So we've switched to that format instead right now. I also make a line now, and I have them work on their handwriting. I got these for each of them, the Zahner Blosser handwriting. These were also through My Father's World. And they were not getting them done. And I was like, we need to work on handwriting, because I really feel like cursive is important. And I am terrible at cursive, I will be honest. I'm left-handed, and I think that's always been my excuse. But I've just never been very successful with cursive, and I really want my girls to be more successful than me. So I've had them start working through this again. And so now that it's scheduled, it's getting done. So that is another thing we're doing. Okay, moving on to English. They're both working through their language lessons for today. I love language lessons for today. This is it. I just think it's an excellent language arts program that's easy for mom. It just doesn't take us super long, and yet they're learning the concepts. So my oldest is definitely working on the parts of speech, and it's been really good for her. We add in Schoolhouse Rock songs, for interjections and why am I blanking? Conjunctions. So this has been really good for her, and I do it also with my third grader, and I really like the format. So we'll keep going with this. I think my oldest has one more year, and then she graduates from this. So there you go. My sixth grader is also working through writing skills. She's still doing really well with it. We have slowed down a bit. She's now taking a class at it's a homeschool co-op that I drop her off at once a week, and it's a literature class that she's taking now. And there's quite a bit of work with it, and a lot of writing and research project papers. And so I've kind of backed off on this because she's had so much writing to do with that class. But if it's an easy week, then I'll have her do one of the assignments from in here. So it's more we're hopping around in here, but she's getting it done, and I feel like she does really well with it. I'm not sure how my third grader will do when she gets to writing skills, because she is just not, she doesn't enjoy writing like my oldest. My oldest loves writing, and so it's pretty enjoyable for her. And if I can find a YouTube video about the writing topic, add to it if it's a basic dialogue concept that she's supposed to write. And if I find a video on YouTube about it to add to it, then she gets really excited. So just different personalities. We'll see how it goes through the years with my others. Okay, so that was English. Okay, moving on to history. So we learned a lot these last few weeks. Let's see here. We learned about India. We learned about Japan, China, Benjamin Franklin. King George, Catherine the Great, the Stamp Act, Spanish missions. I will say around week 17 and 18, I kind of skipped a lot of the history because it was again talking about, it might have been 17. It was talking about like what was happening in other countries, which is really good information, but like we were just getting a little behind, and I'm like, we gotta get to the Revolutionary War. Come on, let's get going. So we kind of skipped that and just moved on. That's what we did. Let's see here. So I'll go through the books that we've been reading. So we're still reading through the Story of the World. I really like the Story of the World. I really wish I would have bought the activity book this year. I didn't buy it this year. And I wish I would have just bought it at the beginning of the year because I think it would have added like the coloring pages. There's days where they're not really into doing the summary work. And so if I could have had the like map work to do or the coloring pages, I think that would have been plenty. So I think next year we do Story of the World, and I think I'll buy it then for the next book. Okay, we're still working through Exploring American History, and I really like this one because it has like a summary at the end, which is helpful if they were struggling to listen. Like sometimes we got littles coming in, so they're like, what did you say? So the summary is really helpful sometimes at the end. And then George Washington's World. Now, we loved Augustus Caesar's World. They really enjoyed it. This one, I feel like, doesn't keep their interest quite as much, but we're still getting through it. And what I'll do sometimes is I'll make a copy of the picture and either let them color it or I'll put it up on our whiteboard. We have a big whiteboard now in our schoolroom. I'll try and show a picture of it, but it's really big. So it kind of works as like a room divider at times when like all my littles are up here and my big ones are trying to finish like math, and I got littles playing with like a sensory bin or something. So it kind of gives them some space to do their own things, I guess. Anyway, I digress. I'll make a copy and post it on our whiteboard, and then afterwards we'll do bullet points together, and I'll say, okay, what did we learn from this? And then we'll do them together. And so when they make their summary at the end, they can take just from the bullet points. I'll a lot of times let them do that for the summary. Okay. So they did make their Poor Richard's Almanac. What else did we do? They did a map on India, and I forgot to grab all my student sheets, but that's okay. I'll just talk about it. They've been doing their notebook pages. Oh, we did a haiku. That was really fun. It wasn't scheduled, but I just thought it would be fun to do a haiku because they learned about it in the Japan when they were learning about Japan. Oh, we were supposed to make Liberty tea and scones, and I wish, like, we ran out of time that week. That was the week we were just, like, we had to skip at the end some. And I really wish we would have, because I saw on the Facebook group, this one gal did these super yummy looking scones, and she's like, I'm so glad we did it. So I wish we would have done it. So we might do it sometime. We'll make scones another time. And what's nice about the family cycle, I know that we'll cycle through this again in years to come. So it's not my only chance. What else did we learn? They're learning about the Declaration of Independence. It's just really great learning about all this history and the wars and what happened during that time. We also started watching Liberty Kids again. So that's been really fun to add in. And it's like, oh yeah, like I think they were talking about the Stamp Act. And then there was this one gal who was a slave who became this amazing writer even while she was in slavery. And it was like such a cool story. And like they had it in Liberty Kids. I thought that was really cool. I feel like I'm missing something, but I think that was it for that part. Okay, so moving on to science. Okay, so we finished up the World of Animals. They loved this. It was so much fun for them. They did really great. They really enjoyed it, and it was really fun. And I forgot to grab... So we ended up making a science notebook from the Facebook group for exploration to 1850. I don't even think I showed that, but that's what we're starting with. And so that really helped with their papers each day that they had to... What am I trying to say? The science papers they did. What were they called? The notebook pages. There you go. So that really helped. It made it really a lot more fun. And then also we started exploring creation with botany. This is through Apologia. They are really enjoying this one too. There's been we've been preserving flowers and learning about flowers, and what else have we done? Learned about germination. There were flowers, flower dissection. They did a thing where they had to categorize, kind of like the guy that made the categories for everything. So there's like, species, the kingdom, phylum, species, all that. So they separated like shoes that way with this. So that was fun. The only thing I don't love about it is that it's broken up so much differently than this one. So like you read so much and then there's a big project, not a big project, but a project, where this one, it was kind of the same format each time and you could do the project if you wanted to or not. Where this, like, we'll just have a day where it's a project, and if I didn't prepare ahead of time, like, we can't do the project. Like, today we were supposed to do pollination, so pollinating a plant. Well, I don't have any squash plants, like, ready to pollinate, because it's still February. And I guess maybe if I had started this May in that part, I don't know. It just, the timing of it, I'm like, I can't pollinate a squash plant right now. I could find another flower, but I don't think I have any flowers that pollinate in that way, so... Oh well. That's the only thing that I don't like, how that's broken up, because I'm like, well, do I just skip it totally or should I still read it? I don't know. I haven't figured that part out. Okay, moving on to math. So we still are loving Matthew C and doing Matthew C. My 3rd grader's doing Gamma and my 6th grader's doing Delta. She's almost done. She's going to move on to Epsilon, and we'll probably work through that in the summer, as well as she'll work through Gamma in the summer. And we're really enjoying it. Reading, they're just each reading. They have been reading, 20 minutes a day or so. My oldest is reading To Kill a Mockingbird for her literature class, and she's also been reading through Harry Potter and the Wing Feather Saga. There's something else she read. I can't remember, but she's really loving the Harry Potter books right now. So I was really against reading them for a long time, and then I was like, okay, I need to chill out a little. So she's been reading them. My husband's already read them all, so that's been fine. And then my 3rd grader, she got really into the Princess in Black books and read all through those, and so that was fun for her. Okay, God in the History of Art, I've kind of shelved for a little bit because I just feel like our schedule, we're not doing as well lately, and so I feel like it's taking us longer, and so we're just running out of time to get that art done, and also the music at the end. So we were supposed to do like the story of Chopin, who else? Mendelssohn, and we just have not been getting that done. So those two have not been getting done. So the read alouds, okay, we finished Madeline Takes Command, and then we read What's the Big Idea, Ben Franklin. I've been doing a lot of audiobooks, so we did that one through an audiobook, as well as Madeline Takes Command. My 3rd grader, we read through Sarah Witcher's story. It's so good. I highly recommend it. Go read it. It made me cry some. It's very good. And this is my 2nd time reading it, because I read it to my oldest when she was in 2nd grade, and it's so good. Okay, what else did we read? Okay, we also read The Big Wave that was in the book recommendations in the back, and it was very good. That's not an audiobook. It's like a really thin one that they could really read on their own, but it was fun to use as a read aloud. So we read that one, and it went along with the Japan unit we were doing. And it's an excellent book on suffering and mourning and the process of grieving. If you're like, I don't know, I just thought I explained it very well for a kid to understand the grieving process. This little boy whose family loses family because of this big wave, and just his process of grieving through it, and like enduring and like coming out the other side. Anyway, it's excellent. So I recommend it if you're interested. Let's see what else. Okay, we also started The Indian Captive. We have not finished that one yet. That is also was recommended, and it's very good. And like, it's a based on a true story. And it's a crazy story, like how this girl lives with the Indians and how she just is just amazing. It's so great. So that one's very good. We're also listening to that one through audiobook. Okay, I think that's it. That's where we're at. We're today starting our new audiobook, but I'm not even going to talk about it. One last thing. Can you see it? Oh, I have another little cork board here, and this is where I have now their timeline. I know everyone knows, I don't know if everyone, but I made a timeline book, and I had all these plans to make a timeline book again, and it wasn't happening. So finally I'm like, we're putting it up here. So it's up here, and we're just going across, and that's how we're doing the timeline. And then the same with my first grader. I have hers up here too, because it's just all I could do right now. That's where I'm at. Okay, so that was Exploration 1850. That was a lot. Okay, moving on to first grade. So learning God's story. So again, this is going to be a quick overview of the last 10 weeks. Hers is going to be a little bit different though. Okay. So, I got to pull out a couple of things. Okay, so we still for Bible, she finished this up, my big book of 5-minute devotionals. We did a lot of different animals. I just really enjoy this little devotional. There were even days where I was like, that's convicting to me. I really like this is supposed to be for kids, not for mom, but it was convicting for me. She also started on, okay, so she was supposed to start reading through her Bible reader. Now, I had to really slow down on the reading and language arts portion because it was moving too fast for her. It was just too fast for her. So we slowed way down, but we're opening this up during the day whenever lesson we're on, and she'll color the picture while I still read the Bible story to her. And so that's how we're doing that. And she really enjoys doing that. Not all of them, but it's been fun for her. So that's how we've been doing the Bible. And so we follow along in here for the Bible and history portion up at the top. And so she's also been doing the books of the Bible, and she is memorizing them, which I'm really excited about, because we just keep repeating them over and over again. So that's a really great way to learn that. So like I said, I'll read the portion from in the teacher's manual from her, and then she'll color the picture, and then we'll discuss it, and I'll try and, see how much she's comprehending from it. And then she's also, like I said, we're doing the timeline pieces now and adding those up here. And lastly are the Proverbs, and she's working through that. So we're doing those. And if I'm noticing that she's struggling with forming the letters for it, I've got this big board. I got this at Goodwill. I don't know, if someone homemade it. There's nothing on it. But I love it because it has the little dots, so I can have her just with her finger go over it if she's struggling forming the letters, and then she can then do it on her paper. So it's really cool how it's very textile. So moving on, so reading and language arts. So this is where I totally pause, and we do nothing from the first grade curriculum right now. We're not doing the workbook right now, the Bible reader, or the Bible notebook. I switch back then to kindergarten, God's creation from A to Z. So how I've been doing it is, if you taught the kindergarten curriculum or used it, there are, back in the yellow portion, it's the teaching to read section. And I don't go through it all, but we go through, I pick each day a portion of the blend ladder. And so I'll pick a day okay, we're doing day 18. So we'll do all the textured letters with the vowel ladder, and I just use this for my ladder. And we'll just, again, use the texture letters, and we'll go through the sounds again. And then we'll do the second part of the blend ladder. It's in the same day. So I'll go again to day 18 or something, and I'll go through step 2 and step 3 and 4, and we'll do that. And then lastly, I'll dictate words to her, and she's got a little notebook, and she writes the words out. And so, that's a lot. So that's what we've been doing for teaching to read. she's to the point now. So, like I said, they're working with a tutor, which is super helpful for me, especially if you have one that's struggling to read, to have someone else like on the outside, like, oh, hey, you're doing okay. Like, she's doing okay. So she's like to step 1 or 2, or I think 2 in the learning to read process. So she knows all her sounds. Thank you, kindergarten. And she can do like the first 2 blend sounds. Like she can, like if it's a 3-letter word, cat, she can do cat, cat. So if I can give her those first 2 sounds, she can add the last one. So we're getting so close, but it's like just that, it's like now time, really, and like consistency. So we just keep practicing. So this has been, I've now gone through this once with her again, and now I started for a second time to go through this blend ladder, and I feel like it's working, and so I'm just kind of trusting the process. And if she's struggling in another area, like if all of a sudden, like there was one day she's like could not remember the vowels. I'm like, what's going on? So I pulled out the old vowel cards for the vowel song, and so we did that. I've got all these old Hooked on Phonics little readers, so she'll then read 1 or 2 of these. So that's what I'm doing. I pulled out my all about reading. I was gonna get rid of it, and then I saved it because I was like, all of a sudden, like, I can't get rid of it. So then I pulled it out. I thought, okay, we're gonna do all about reading. We're gonna do this again, and it was so overwhelming to me. I was like, well, I can't do this. Like, it's just too much, too many little moving parts. You got the cards, and you got the little things, and the little, what are those? The tiles, and then the activity pages, and the teachers. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it again. So we did that for like 3 days, and then I quit. I'm like, I went back to My Father's World because I know it, and it's like simple for me, like the format, and it's like consistent. So we just did that, and that's what we're doing. One other thing I am adding in from All About Reading. Okay, the Ziggy Zebra games. I have talked about these many times whenever I talk about first grade. We love these. So this we are still using to practice like words, blending sounds. I got the Abeka. There's these cards with just the first 2 sound blends. So like, B-A, ba, 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 whatever. So we've been using that for her to practice with the games. So that's been fun for that. So that is our reading program right now. And maybe I'll do a separate video if someone's like, how do you do this if you have a struggling reader? This is what I'm doing. So I can't tell you it's going to work right now, but it seems to be like we're making progress. So there you go. Okay. Moving on to math. Now I've switched up my math as well. We were doing consistently, I don't even know where the book is, the complete book of math. She was doing really great with it, but then I switched to Math UC. I know, I just love it. And so we were going to just slowly kind of add it in here or there, and kind of just, on days where I didn't think she'd get the concept for the complete book of math, we'd use this, but she just fell in love with this too. So I was like, okay, we're just going to do this. That's fine. So that's what we're doing. And it's working for us. So there you go. Okay. The reading review as well. That's where I do that Ziggy Zebra game. So there's that. Okay. Activities. So science, we're not always super consistent on, but she does have fun with it. So like we'll put up these little cards for what she's learning about. And it's been a lot of things outdoors. So we've been doing that. And she likes that. Oh, and then to go along with math, we're still doing the calendar, and then I sometimes still do the 100 chart, but I haven't been super consistent about it. Let's see what else. Okay, enjoying art together. So here, I put that up here as well. I love these art cards. They're fantastic. We started on that. And then Peter and the Wolf. We've done 1 unit, and then I got a CD that doesn't work. So I thought it was like my problem, but then I got an email from My Father's World that I wasn't the only one. I guess there was something wrong with the CDs. So they gave me a digital download, and so I've got to do that. We haven't done it yet. But I love the Peter and the Wolf story. So, lastly, let's see here. Animals. We finished up this. It's a super fun book. I just love the little stories from it. The little poems. And the picture and the art. It's just super fun. So, there you go. Okay. I'm going to be out of breath by the end. My goodness. Okay. I was learning God's story for first grade. On to Voyage of Discovery for pre-K. Okay, so part of hers was there was a big Christmas unit, so we did a little bit of it. We didn't do as much as I would have liked. It's just one of those years. You get what you do, and it's okay. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, we also finished up her 10 Commandments unit, and she had a lot of fun with that because she got like M&Ms every day, so that's always fun for them. Okay, moving on, she learned the letter H through M. Okay, so starting out, we'll do the same format. Okay, so there's always the helping together, like help set the table. My girls actually, because I have 5, they each have a day they have to set the table for dinner. And so it makes it really easy, like Monday's my oldest and then Friday's my youngest. So they know what day is theirs to set the table. And even my 3-year-old sets the table. Now it's not perfect, but like they are so into it. They love it, the days they get to set the table. Because, this is why too. Because I let the one who sets the table gets to use the big glass plate instead of like the little ones. They get to use the big one. So it's like, they're pretty excited the days they get to do it. Okay. Also, we're singing still through the Hide 'Em in Your Heart CDs. I just love it. So don't skip it. It's a great way to get the songs and the scripture in your head, as well as for your kids. So there was a lot that we did. We also have been reading through the Preschooler's Bible. We'll end up reading through the entire little Preschooler's Bible for the year. So it's a really great program for that. And ours is getting pretty beat up. It's gone through, she's now the 3rd, so it's getting kind of tired. But there you go. Okay, so she learned about the golden calf, David and Jonathan, and then the Christmas unit, Mary and baby Jesus, and then learning about Elijah, God healing Naaman, and Nehemiah and Esther. And then I love that each day has like a little craft for them to do with it, or something that kind of helps with the lesson to really solidify it. And if there's not enough information in it, this always gives a little brief, not always, but a lot of times a brief adds to the story of like, it makes it fuller. Not losing my words. Also, if you're unsure of the story yourself, like if you haven't read through the Bible yet, they add up here the Bible references so that you can read it yourself beforehand. So like if your child has questions about it, or you're like, I didn't know this story, you can be prepared ahead of time and learn about it for yourself. We also made a little prayer basket. I just use like a little one of those index card holders, and that's where we keep them, and we'll pick a card each time that it's scheduled and pray for someone. She really likes that. I also use, on the days that I don't have the supplies for the craft, or I'm just not up for the craft, we'll use the big book of coloring pages, and she can color a picture from in here, and then I can add, as she colors, I'll sometimes read the story to kind of add even more to it. And so I really like this one. This has been super helpful for my preschoolers. Okay, moving on to ABCs. Okay, so let me grab, I filed all her other ones away, so you'll have to see this week. So she did letter N, but she did really M through all the other letters. So I also use these. I hang these up for each new letter. These are from, I don't know, it says Pensacola Christian College. I have no idea, but I think maybe Abeka. So for each letter, she has this as a reference, and then for the day that she does Play-Doh, I just have her roll it out, and then she'll trace the letters on here. So that is helpful. What else do we do? Okay, we use these still, these ABC nature activity cards. I don't know if these are even still made anymore. I've tried to find them and link them, but it seems like it's getting harder, so it might be something if you're interested, like you'll have to look on eBay. They don't come with the curriculum. So like J is for January. They're just really simple cards, but they're kind of fun to add in. H is for heart, and then like they have to look for other shapes. So they have fun looking at these. My preschooler ends up sitting in some while we do my pre-K because she just loves school. So there you go. Okay, I'm also adding in these Alpha Tail books. I really love these. So we've got H, I. So these are really great when it says to look for the letters in the book. I can be like, oh, look, they're right there. I'm not having to like, does that book have I's in it? Does that book have J's in it? It's just there. So these are super fun. I can link them below if you're interested. Again, they don't come with the curriculum, but I have loved adding these in. What's another thing? We do the Play-Doh letter, and then the letter H, the art activity. So I've shared this before. This was my old little preschool book, and my mom had given it to me recently. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I was going to throw it away, and then I thought, I'll use it for my preschoolers. So this is what we use for her little, the art activity. So let's see, H, I'll just literally use an index card. So she made her H's, and then we put stickers on. And then I, for insect, she made little insects, and I just used a do-a-dot, and then we colored in the faces. J was for jewels, so we used glitter. That was a big day. Everyone was excited that Mom pulled the glitter out, and I was like, whoa, like, this is with great care, and Mom has to be here the whole time. Okay, we made a little key. Let's see, leaves. M was, there's a mouse in there. I made this one. What'd she make? Oh, we did M&Ms. With the do-a-dots. But what did I do with it? Okay, I found it. So here's her little M&Ms. And then she wrote her M's on the back. So that was fun for her. Okay, she does the number stuff that they include along with, we add, again, these nature activity cards, the 1, 2, 3 ones. We'll add in, well, we're not to 12, but like 12 leaves, and then it talks about leaves and matching and stuff like that. So we'll do that. Then she does the color sequencing cards, and then the line cards she does. She colors little pictures. We do all that stuff. I don't always get to the discovery time when it's like there was one with milk. We didn't do that. We did do this though. I let her paint, so she learned that, yellow plus red equals orange, so she got to mix colors. That was fun for her. We've been reading through all the books, so the Crossroads of Character, the Big Book of Things to Spot, Big Thoughts for Little People. She is loving the Richard Scarry's What Do People Do All Day. This is like a hit of a book. And I'll just find her like sitting and looking at the pictures. It's just, she really likes it. The educational toys we'll do sometimes. Sometimes it's like I can tell that she needs to just go play. So they're more hit or miss lately. If you haven't done this one yet, I really love the messages from Marie. They're really encouraging, so make sure you read those. Oh, and I don't know if you saw, if people are still watching, David Hazel just did an interview with the Hip Homeschool Mom, I think. And I just got an email about it on her podcast, and so I've never listened to her before, but I'm going to go listen to it. I'm super excited because I've gleaned a lot of information from him from one of his older, he did a homeschool convention, and somehow I had found the videos. Now I can't find them, but he had talked all about like teaching preschool and all this stuff, and he's got a lot of wealth of wisdom and information, so I'll link it below if you guys are interested in listening to that podcast. Okay, we're on to the last kid. All aboard the animal train. Now, like I said, I'm in the past, I'm not doing hers as like consistently. It's more like maybe twice a week, 3 times a week. She loves school though. Like, she begs me every day to do school. And we typically take a rest time in the afternoon. And I'll try and like rest or just like watch a quick something on YouTube. And she will beg me, please do school with me, Mommy. So I end up doing school with her. So we're to the kitty unit. I don't know if I've shared, we did the duck unit, but we did do the duck unit. But I'm just going to share with you today the kitty unit because that's what we're on, and I could find all this stuff quickly. So let's see here. Okay, so she did her unit poster. So she did her kitty cat in the color purple. Then I add in, okay, again, here are these. It's kind of like what I use for the pre-K, but they're kitty cats for each color. So we have the purple one, and we have all the other colors. So we hang that up. We also hang this up. Again, it's one of these cards. What are these? Some of this, let's see it. SRA Photo Library. I use them for like all my kids for whatever they're learning about. So, she's got a cat. My pre-Ker has a seahorse up right now because she's learning about seahorses. Hannah's got my first grader has a snowman because she was learning about snow. So we end up using these a lot. Okay, she also painted a little cat. And she painted, she actually duodotted. So I got these for them for Christmas, the Arteza dot markers. So she really liked it. That was fun for her. She colored her little kitty cat, her Bible verse one. She's learned the 3 Little Kittens poem. We also, for the cat and the fiddle, I have this old poster of it. And so she really has fun singing along, and then I can point to each thing as, they go along in the poem, the nursery rhyme. So that's fun for her. I added in this book, The 3 Little Kittens. This is an old one, 1979. This is like hardcore mom. She's like spanking them in the book. Anyway, but it's a fun version. Okay. We also, so for surprise time, she made the little kitties, and we cut them out, and then she has to find the mittens. And so for a surprise time, I keep the mittens in here with the little pom-poms, and then she has to find them, and then she puts them on the kitties. So that's been a fun surprise time edition. If you're needing new ideas when you get to the kitty, just use what you have. We've read A Big Treasury of Little Animals about the kitty. She really likes that. And the First Virtues. We also had one on Richard Scarry's Best Little Word Book Ever. I'm not sure where I put it, but we did read that one. Okay, so for Bible, she's using the same Bible as my preschooler. So she learned about David and Mephibosheth and Ruth and Naomi. And so I'll print a picture from here. I'll make a copy, and then she can color along as I read, and she really likes doing that. So there you go. I think that's everything. We didn't make Play-Doh, but I bought Play-Doh this time. Oh, we were also supposed to finger paint with pudding. We didn't do that. I think that's it. Okay, so that was All Aboard the Animal Train. That was a lot of stuff. So if you're still here, thank you so much for stopping by. And I hope this was helpful for you guys. And it was fun to do a regular video again. It's been so long. So it was good to get back to doing it. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment. Tell me what you're doing in school and stuff and what you're teaching. I probably should have said that at the beginning instead of at the end. But, well. And I do have an Amazon link below. It's an affiliate link. If you use it, I get a little tiny bit, so it's super helpful. I thank you to those who are using it. That's a super big blessing for us. And yeah, so if you like this, here are some other videos to go and check out, and I hope to see you at the next video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.